I would say Arsenal is they are they are genuine and hardened title contenders. When I mean hardened, I mean like, they've been building up on that experience for the past 3 seasons. So if they don't win it this season, then I mean, I said last season we'll ask them questions this season, but to be fair, if they don't win it this season, then it's we know that there are some village people involved in this whole thing.
What
Yeah,
are,
because the main challenge, the
Watch Friendship TV right now.
Transit Sports TV back again, back to talk football, the game that we love so much. It was a very, I know I say this every week, but this weekend was so interesting. So many big and good results. And if you're an EPL fan, a couple of weeks ago, it was like Arsenal was staring an 8 points gap behind Liverpool in the eye. All of a sudden, in 2 weeks, they are 2 points ahead of Liverpool. City was looking like they're not going to be in the title charge this week. They are 3 points off Arsenal at the top of the table. Manchester United is looking up. Chelsea, had a very shaky start to the season, and they beat Liverpool, and they are now, looking up as well. You go to Spain, Barcelona lost their 2 straight games, one in Champions League and one in the league today. And in Spain today, Real Madrid is topping the table. You go to Italy with very interesting results as well. Napoli saw off Genoa this afternoon, and the Juve is just having a game now with AC Milan. So we are here to discuss these games, and as usual, the usual Musketeers, Judy's on show. Our beautiful transit Madame Choma is on show as well. She couldn't have missed this one. And of course, my brother, my oppressor, Boom, is showing up again with this his wonderful Sunday oppression with African attires. One of these days, we're going to look into this matter in this community. You guys need to say something about it. Guys, you are welcome to the show.
It's good to be
Yeah.
here.
Good to see you guys.
Choma,
Good
you
to
ran
be
away last
here.
week. We'll catch you this week.
No, I didn't run. But I'm here now. I'm here.
Yeah, that's cool. That's true. Yeah, set up. Arsenal beats West Ham 2-0. Before that game, maybe a lot of people thought that Arsenal probably would score a lot of goals, loads of goals in that game. But if you know Espirito, who is the new coach of West Ham, you always knew that it's going to be a tricky game for Arsenal. Though he has not been there for too long, but obviously he could see the footprint of what he was going to bring to West Ham, because West Ham has been a team since Moyes left them that have been in the business of conceding goals and losing games all over the place. Straight up, Ugum, this one, let me start with you. Zubimendi came in, I think it was about 15, 20 minutes into that game for Odegaard. After Arsenal fans were, happy with their dream combo in that midfield of Odegaard and Eberechi Eze playing in that 8 and 10 position, and Gyökeres was in the 6. I don't know. Did you notice any difference? What was your opinion in regards to having Zubimendi in that 6 and moving Rice vis-a-vis how the game was started?
Well, what I know with Arsenal fans in general, more especially Arsenal fans, is that the more they get, the more they want, right? People are just fascinated with the next new thing, as opposed to what's there that's already working. The team looks solid with Zubimendi in it and Rice playing in the midfield. They're still, again, finding their way through, inching their way through, developing the chemistry. It's going to take a while for these guys to gel and, be really moving like a machine. And so because of the growing pains, I'll call them that, the things haven't been as fluid as fans want to see. Fans, again, are looking for dominant 4-0, 5-0, 6-0 wins. And that's not happening just yet. So everybody's looking for an ultra-attacking lineup, having a very there, and Martin Odegaard and other attackers, sacrificing one midfielder that's supposed to help with stability, and keeping it tight at the back. So I never really subscribed to that ultra attacking stuff because people are just fascinated with stuff. The moment the coach tries that and it doesn't work and he loses, they're still gonna come and blame him, right? That's how fickle fans are. So yeah, I thought they started brightly. Of course, when you have so many attacking talents on the field and the opponents are not really, they didn't set up to come and attack. They set up to make sure they limit the extent of damage that Arsenal could do on them. So it was flowing, but unfortunately, Odegaard got injured. And I thought that his injury, sad as it was, we hope he recovers very quickly soon. Bringing Martin Zubimendi still restored a bit of stability again that the team needs. People underrate his offensive abilities. He assisted both goals. Mm-hmm. If you look at them again, you will see that he offers a lot offensively as well. So bringing him in, he was essentially the man of the match with Declan Rice, with the way that they operated and kept the game going. And I think that's the way forward, at least for now. Let the team continue to gel in what they are doing. And with time, according to, depending on the opponents that the team faces, they can go all out attack so people can, engage in their fantasies.
Choma, let me ask you real quick. First of all, I don't know, what was your biggest take out of Arsenal performance in that game and Arsenal as a team right now? Then most importantly, is there any difference or which one would you prefer when Thomas Partey was in that sixth position and now that you have Zubimendi in that position?
Okay, so I think Ugum actually said everything, some Arsenal fans are busy looking for wild fantasies to come through. Do you understand? Yesterday's game for me was, I wasn't expecting 5 goals, by the way. I had mentioned in the morning that it wasn't going to be 4 goals affair or 5 goals. At a point, I was like, okay, if we go back to how many seasons ago, West Ham have always been an uphill task for Arsenal. West Ham, Bowen, he has a thing against
the
Arsenal.
last 2 home games, West Ham have won Arsenal at the Emirates.
Exactly. If he remembers I explained Arsenal, he becomes a beast. But yesterday, I saw him frustrated. Yeah, he was always doing his job because he always comes correct every time. But, it just wasn't the kind of game he was expecting it to be. So if people are asking questions about Thomas Partey versus Zubimendi, Thomas Partey's season is done. Now we have Zubi. There will never be another Thomas Partey. There can never be a Zubimendi. So Arteta is making good use of all the weapons he has in his arsenal, and he's using them well. So if all those fans, all those annoying fans, because they are just proper agenda cookers, that's what they want. They keep cooking one agenda after the other. Who do you want? Do you want Odegaard in the middle or Zubi or whatever? At the end of the day, now Odegaard has gone to go and collect bench for at least a month or something.
Yeah.
So now Zubi will play. So this is, I feel like these fans should just keep calm and watch what's happening. It's even a blessing that these guys are integrating so fast. Okay, I even hear people talking about, oh, now Gyökeres is here. What is he doing? And I'm laughing at them.
Yeah, we're going to get to Gyökeres. Let me ask you quickly. Jude, I know looking from outside, you're a former Arsenal fan. I know you're still an Arsenal fan, but you just try to disguise it. Once they win this trophy now, I know you're going to come back. But
can't be saying this all the time.
the 7 games, Arsenal has considered just one open goal. The other 2 goals were, one was from a free kick. I think the other one was a penalty or corner kick. From what you have seen, going forward, they've not shown that they have any issues. I think they are second on the table with regards to goals scored. City edged them out with 15 goals to the other 1 goal that Haaland scored. So they have scored 14 goals in the league. They are top in that department. But defensively, do you think it's going to be a very significant reason if Arsenal will win any major trophy this season?
Anyway, for me, The season is still a bit young, but like when I said that the first 5 games of the season will set the table, and I'm a bit surprised, not um and excited for Arsenal the way they have come into this season, even though they've lost just one game. But uh, for what Choma said, the team seemed to have found a level of rhythm. We've not seen the best of the team just yet.
Yeah,
I believe people like uh, Gyökeres
Gyökeres.
still has a lot to prove. I'm happy for the way he has been able to get the guys to blend and try to have that mix of uh, the original flair and a lot of spine in the middle. I'm not worried if no, I'm not worried that Odegaard is injured so much as long as Saka is playing. But having Zubimendi in that middle of the park provides a lot more solidity for me against an Odegaard. So because for me that's what really Arsenal needs, to be very very solid in the middle. To be able to hold the middle of the pack, dominate games like they did against West Ham. So against West Ham, it was they totally dominated that game, and they were 2 goals good for it. And they could have scored more if so. I believe that it's a work in progress, and this might just be the season for Arsenal. If you ask me, all they need to do is win the games they need to win, keep focus, and keep discipline in the squad. They have everything to win it this season, if you ask me.
Yeah, real quick, you mentioned Gyökeres there, which obviously is coming up. I think physically now he's winning a little bit more duels, and just for those opportunities to start coming for him, and obviously he's going to score goals, I believe, for Arsenal. So I don't know what how do you where do you place the Gyökeres right now so far? What he has done for Arsenal.
Well, I'm enjoying him. Right? There's a desperation there to score goals. He's single-minded. There are 2 different narratives I've heard from yesterday, from the last game. Some say that Bukayo Saka insisted on taking the penalty that came because it was his 200 game and he needed to mark it and all that. Another source said that Gyökeres is actually the designated penalty taker, but he gave it to Bukayo because it was Bukayo's big day. In spite of him needing a goal, he still let Bukayo take the penalty. Yeah, so I really don't know which one is which, but the fact is that what I'm seeing from him is a really good team player. I see him trying to mesh with the squad. He knows that for a striker to be successful, just like if you want to use the American football example, a quarterback is nothing without his offensive line. The guys that will block those that are coming for him every match. Yeah, so I've seen quarterbacks invest so much money in giving gifts, high, very expensive gifts to the offensive linemen because literally their success depends on these guys. So the Gyökeres has that attitude. I like it. I like a player that understands that he is part of a team and is willing to work for a team. And then you see the team being reciprocated from his wingers, from his defenders. Everybody is working to help him actualize his goals. So the goals will come. From the way the guy moves, I can see he constantly on the move, constantly putting pressure on the defense, constantly running the channels, constantly holding up the ball, making good decisions, laying up for people that are open. It will come. In this game against West Ham, I saw 2 chances where if he had connected with the ball right, if he hadn't slipped or the ball hadn't ended up a little bit behind him, he would have had clear shots at goal, which you would assume will get into the net. So if he were to listen to us, I'd say just calm down, keep doing what you're doing. The goals will come. It's not really about getting all the goals within the first 5, 10 games of the season. There have been so many examples from Thierry Henry to the rest of them that took so and so time to score goals and get many goals and all that. He should just take it easy. The goals will come.
Yeah, for me, just again, the two things that we are bigger takeaway for me, we are Arsenal struggled defending corner kicks in that game. And it's not just against West Ham. I think it's the only way now that looks very easy to score Arsenal goals is corner kicks. It looks like they're a little bit nonchalant when it comes to defending it as against attacking it. It's something that they probably will have to work on. And talking about adaptation as well, Gyökeres, I think the way Gyökeres likes to run onto balls is something that our wingers and our midfield still need to understand. Sometimes he likes to go early, and that's what every striker likes as well. Put the ball early for him. But sometimes, and again, Arsenal played for a long time without a striker that really goes to the across the goal. So most of the time, the wingers get to the byline and they do a cutback instead of putting the ball across the line. So Gyökeres most of the time sees himself being ahead of the crosses. They always cut back, and that's why Eze is having all the opportunities. So either the wingers might have to adjust their minds and know that now we have a point man that he can put the ball in the 6-yard box for him and he will tap it. Or Gyökeres may have to start checking his runs, make the runs and check back, because I still see him as our best finisher right now. So, but he's giving him the right ball. Most of the balls that he's getting are chances that just come by his sheer hard work, not that he's put on the plate for him. So there's an adjustment to be done there between him and the guys that supply him the balls. The one that we were talking about was Gyökeres, and I could see that he was a little bit, he was unsure that ball was going to come that quick, but nobody was doing it. So by the time he realized that Gyökeres was going to drop that ball as quickly as he did, he was one step behind, and that's what happened. So if Arsenal are still not, seamless in the way they play or at their best and topping the league, and after having this very difficult start to the season in terms of fixtures, and then the fans can only hope for a better season, and hopefully it's this season, because it's not just for Arsenal fans. I think football right now needs Arsenal to win a trophy, because it becomes a joke if after all this work and people like City or maybe United and all these people start to come and still win trophy. It doesn't make sense anymore, because they're not just buying players, but they have a team that looks good in the eye to watch, and players who are willing to work hard as well and apply themselves as professionals. So I think not just Arsenal, the football as a community need Arsenal to just win a trophy. And that takes us to Manchester United. They won the second
Yeah,
game.
but I like to say something, I like to say something about the Arsenal this season. I would say Arsenal they are genuine and hardened title contenders. I mean hardened. I mean, like, they've been building up on that experience for the past 3 seasons. So if they don't win it this season, then I said last season we'll ask them questions this season. But to be fair, if they don't win it this season, then it's we know that there are some village people involved in this whole thing. Yeah, because the main challenge here, the challenge in Arsenal is very, very clear, and that is what has prevented them to win the Premier League for the past 3 seasons, and is about sustenance of the level of form. They have the quality, and now they've added a very good level of squad depth, and they have the tactical whatever to win it is there. The question here now is whether they can hold their nerve, in what is already shaping up to be a very, very intense title race this season. Because if you look at the top six, there's not much, separating teams out there, and anybody, every other person is still in it. And we know when this whole thing starts to dip, once it's Christmas and then after that. So they need to hold their nerve and navigate through the Champions League, because that is another tournament that is going to challenge. their mentality. Last season they did one or two things, did a lot of showed a lot of flashes, beat Real Madrid, and at the end of the day, it still took them nowhere. So, but if you ask me, I would like to be minimal. Yes, you can do well in Champions League, but I bet you the biggest trophy for Arsenal yet is the Premier League. They need to
Yeah.
get back on the Premier League. They need to get back on the Premier League, and now so that the club and every other team will now start seeing Arsenal as that force, to reckon with, even in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you, and I share your view. But sometimes, like Kugumo always says, if you have not done it, you don't have that experience. That nerves you're talking about, sometimes it comes from being experienced in doing it. So yeah, it might be until they cross that line, they won't have that calmness. But they have shown a better disposition of it this season, especially against Newcastle. Usually, the way Newcastle approach that game, Arsenal have lost their head. They're going behind one goal after being very dominant in that game. But I saw the players, and they kept their cool and kept pushing, and eventually got those 3 points. So let's see how that's going to pan out this season, and hopefully,
yeah. Just a quick word to add to what Jude has said. Jude, you're correct, just 100% correct. I just want to also add that one key factor there is to learn from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes means something that has constantly led to you coming second. Yeah, you watch out for that thing in this season. I already see progress in that area, right? A couple of sites that have been sort of boogie sites, a couple of grounds that have been boogie grounds for Arsenal. So far, they've been able to navigate those grounds. One thing that struck me was Bukayo Saka's interview after this game against West Ham. He said that Thierry Henry sent him a message on that morning,
in the morning,
and said, listen, you're playing West Ham. Remember that you haven't won against West Ham for the past 2 seasons.
At the Emirates.
At the Emirates. Remember that you haven't done it, right? So if you guys are serious about moving forward, some of those things that have bogged you down over and over, overcome them. That's the way to show your title credentials. And so I like that. If they keep those things in mind, keep those things inside, and I trust the manager to bring it up in the dressing room. Listen, guys, you have constantly failed at this. You have constantly struggled in this situation. If you want to win, overcome this situation, get over that hurdle, right? So the more of those hurdles they get over, the more they equip themselves to win.
Yeah, and he shot against Newcastle as well, because obviously if it was like 2 seasons ago and last season, I'm not sure Arsenal would come. In fact, getting a draw, equalizing that goal would have been luck shot for them. I thought I would do those substitutions that go defensive substitutions, and that would be the end of the game, and they'll be happy with 1 point. But this time around, they pushed for a win and they got it.